Hi, and welcome back. This is Diane.Boerstler. We are up to Module 8. You are almost done. Today we're going to write what I consider the most important part of your listing. Pardon me. And that being said, bullet points are this. Oh, bullet points are what people tend to struggle with the most. And the main reason for that is that you're compiling so many different things together. You're kind of, you're taking everything that you know about the person you're speaking to now and all of the competitive analysis from your sheet, all of the hot button words and all of the, the questions they've asked and the things they didn't like about the competitor's product and all of that, and you're putting it together. And when you're doing that, you're also having to make sure that you're doing it in a way that's both persuasive and crisp and powerful. And so I'm going to show you how to do that today. First, let's go over the rules about bullet points. Right now, the maximum on Amazon US is 500. I have seen longer. I have seen limitations that are much, much shorter, but the max for most listings is 500. Now, that being said, 250 to 360 characters is about our sweet spot. So we want to try to stay within that. If you go a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, that's okay too. Check marks or some kind of HTML code that creates something that attracts their attention to the beginning of the bullet point is very helpful. I tend to use the green check mark, which is this code right here, and you can find that in your PowerPoint slides. Also, all caps hook at the beginning, so all capitals hooks at the beginning, because what we're trying to do, remember, is create that curiosity gap and grab their attention, and we're doing that in a way that creates some like a gap in their mind that feels like an itch that has to be scratched. So they want to get the answer to the question. They want to fill in the information. So while you are focusing on, while you're focusing on talking to one person, you're serving everybody. You want to make sure that you're serving the skimmers with the tonal markings, which we discussed. Skimmers with the written tonal markings, and also the deep readers. So you're touching every hot button, so they see that they're making the right decision. Your bullets really need to be crisp, powerful, and bold. Not bolded, but bold. What I'm going to ask you to do after writing your bullet points is to set them down and come back the next day or at least a couple of hours later. Give your brain some time to step away and then go through your checklist and see if there's a way you can make them even more powerful. They also should be written in the language of your prospect. We need to use their hot button and trance words. We're not writing something that sounds cool to us. We need to go back and double check, make sure we're writing what sounds great to them, what they need to see. Most of the time, we should use a hypnotic anchor, and I'm going to show you how to create that today. Many brands use hypnotic anchor. You've probably heard, like Hoover, and they're talking about like their vortex technology, and I think it's vortex, and it picks up a bowling ball. It's a way of claiming that you have something that's better than your competitors, or something, a technology or a feature that is something other people don't have, right? And the reason that this works is because that feature from your product anchors in their mind, and they start if they leave your listing and they go and look at other listings, they'll still be looking for that specific thing, for that same technology. And when we use these anchors, it's like taking a 7-word benefit or transformation combined with a feature and condensing it down to 2 words. So it's much easier for people to remember that. Our brain has a much easier time remembering 2 words and kind of anchoring it and cataloging it than it does remembering 7 to 10 to 15 to 30 words, right? And they generally won't let this go if it's something that they won't let it go until it's either replaced by another anchor that appeals to them, or they come back and buy. Now, most small brands, most family-grown brands out there, most Amazon third-party sellers are not using hypnotic anchors. And the question I always get is, one, how do I know it's good for my brand? And first of all, if you can come up with one and you can position yourself, then it's good for your brand. And 2, how do I know what to create? How do I know what to use in my hypnotic anchor? And we're going to refer back to the competitive analysis sheet. We're going to take what they want and use a word that either shows that what they want is a transformation word, or we're going to combine a feature that they want and one of the benefits of what they want as according to what we found in our competitive analysis. It'll make more sense in just a minute. Again, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. It's been like 4 weeks. Again, if you haven't already, please download and open your hypnotic bullet point template and your bullet point final checklist. Okay, they're both in your back membership area as resources. And if for some reason you don't see them, let me know and I will help you find them. Okay, it's really important that you have these. You should also have completely filled out your Amazon copy brief. You should have your keywords list from Sonar, or in my case from, Scope, and then you should also have your competitive analysis Excel spreadsheet completed. If you haven't completed any of these, you're going to want to go back and complete them before you start writing your bullet points. You can go through this training. Some people like to go through a training once and watch it, then go through it a second time and implement it, then go through it a third time and make sure that you've completed everything correctly. But before you write your bullet points, you really need to go through and do these. So let's get writing. What we're going to do is we're going to go bullet point by bullet point of my top favorite bullet points. And there are a lot more out there, but these are the ones that we've tested and shown to be the highest converting bullet points, right? And I'll keep adding more to the list as we, as I continue to find even more, because obviously we're creative and we do a lot of testing. So first of all, before you can go and write your bullet points, we have to look at the objections and the themes that appeared most frequently, so we'll know what to write about. We're not going to do that right now. We are going to go and do that after we get through kind of the bullet point review, right? But in the meantime, if you could pause the video, grab your competitive analysis sheet, so you're kind of looking at that as we're going through and seeing how these all fit together and how they fit into the templates. That's really important. You can't do much with the templates without having a competitive analysis sheet, without knowing what your customer wants, without knowing who you're speaking to. Like, you should have your persona done by now as well, obviously, because we're at the writing stage. You're going to group together similarities or themes, right? You're looking for patterns. So the more something appears, the more important it is to your buyer who you're speaking to, right? To your friend you're speaking to. Step 4 is, once all of these like things or these themes are grouped together, you can see the trends starting to form, then you can start the video again. If you haven't already. You might have already restarted it. I don't know. So step 1 is we're going to create a hypnotic feature anchor. Now I have an example in here, but I also want to show you how I do it based on the one that we're writing together, which is the toddler cot, right? And just so you know, the reason I picked there's a couple different reasons I picked toddler cots. First, it's because they are usually really boring, right? There's not a lot to say about a toddler cot. They don't provide a huge transformation. You have to dig for it. They're really expensive to source, so I know that nobody's going to run out and grab this and jump on this and try to, we're not going to have 100 people out of 1,000 in this group trying to go and source a toddler cot, right? So, and there's also a lot of things in there that are basic benefits. So safety, parents are looking at safety. These are things we tend to understand. So it allows us to make the leap into what that transformation looks like. We don't have to think about what safety is. We know what safety is. We have to have our brains make that leap into what safety feels like and painting a picture of safety, right? So I just wanted to mention why I picked cots. Someone had asked me, why'd you pick cots? Why not something that's more, fun and sexy and brilliant or easier to write about? Because I'm trying to show you that with the hardest, most boring, blandest products out there, you can still use this, right? You can make, like a lawnmower look like the coolest thing on the planet. You can make a bowl look like the coolest thing on the planet. You can sell like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of the most basic household, item a month, and sometimes even more. I've had people selling 4,000 and 5,000 of things. So, just showing you that it doesn't have to be something that's revolutionary in order to make it sound revolutionary, right? In order to make it sound like the best product out there, it doesn't have to actually be something that is up and coming and trendy. Okay, so let's get into creating a hypnotic feature anchor. Now, if you've already watched the bonus video on, sorry, the presentations I've done this year, I've done a couple of trainings live this year online. And if you've already seen the one about the 3 hypnotic secrets, you're probably already familiar with the hypnotic feature anchor. But that was kind of a brief overview of the what. We're going to go really deep into the how. So this is going to be more in depth. And I'm going to use one of the same examples, but then I'm going to show you even more, right? Because this is really, really important. And when you're writing a hypnotic feature anchor, you don't just want to write the first one that comes to your head and then be done. You want to make a list of and this is something I didn't mention on the training before. You want to make a list of 10 and pick the best one. And if you can, share them with your partner and see what they think. And share them with someone else who's likely to be your customer and see what they think. and share them, with your kids and see if they make sense. You're trying to make sense to 7th graders. You want it to be something that triggers a visual image in their minds, right? The reason you would use a hypnotic anchor is because you have, if you're selling a salad shooter, okay, which is great. I love salad shooters. If you're selling a salad shooter, you're selling a salad shooter, and likely 10 other people are selling a salad shooter with the exact same features and the exact same benefits. Maybe it even looks identical, right? If you're the first one to market selling a salad shooter with new features, you can play that up, but you want to anchor, you want to create a hypnotic anchor for that feature anyway, right? For the feature benefit transformation combination. You need to create that hypnotic anchor because as soon as somebody goes and uses one of those awesome, profit pulling softwares that says, oh, hey, this is the salad shooter that's making the most, they're going to try to source the exact same thing. So this is not only a way to position yourself above current competition and stand out from the white noise, this is a way to protect yourself for the future. So try to create a hypnotic anchor when you possibly can. There are some times when a hypnotic anchor just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so for example, essential oils, right? You don't want to use a hypnotic anchor because that particular group of people would not want to buy anything but something that's 100% pure and 100% natural. So it's not about the product. What you would want to do, however, is write about your process. Okay, so you would have a hypnotic process. Your process is unique, and that's a little bit different. It's the same thing with any kind of 100% pure organic style product, right? You're writing about how your process is more pure. Your process is, and you can give a hypnotic name to that process. But for a lot of the products we write about, we give a hypnotic name to the process instead of to the feature. Now, that's not something we share outside of this training program. So if you want, if this is a secret you want to keep to yourself, please feel free. But basically you have to position something in your product or your process as being superior. If you honestly can't find anything in your product and your process, you have to position something in your company as superior, right? So for example, we have a company and they sell pet products, right? With these pet products, they donate a significant amount of the money to a charity. They've created their own charity. So instead of having the product be product-driven, feature-driven, benefit-driven, it's obviously transformation-driven still, but instead of it being driven by saying that they have the best features and the best benefits, since they're selling products that are very similar to others, we focus in really, really hard on positioning them as the right company to buy from, right? They're the right people to buy from. So, you have the one-of-a-kind product, you have the one-of-a-kind process, or you have the one in a million company. So be thinking about that. If you can use all three, more power to you. But just remember, you don't want to create information overload, which I am famous for doing in my training. So remember, if you have questions, you should be asking questions, right? So once you've positioned yourself as this one-of-a-kind product or one-of-a-kind process or one in a million company, it's going to anchor that in their mind. Okay, so that is going to be what they use to compare every other product if they leave your page. And on Amazon, it's really interesting. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, it's just like a sales page. If they leave your sales page, then they're not going to come back, right? That's not true. On Amazon, people are constantly pulled away by the, similar products on the right-hand side and the similar products on the bottom, and other people bought this with this, and, excuse me, I have the hiccups. I'm trying not to hiccup here. Comparative products, so there's a lot of other things. You would never put 50 things on your sales page to take them away, but they will come back. That's one of the reasons why we use these hypnotic anchors. Okay, so why does this work? As a reminder, our brains like things simple. We remember things that are simple or meaningful. And, if you think about it, it's like, getting a gentle, this is kind of a good analogy, actually. It's like getting, a couple of spring mist. It's like spring mist from an ocean, versus being slapped in the face with a tidal wave. Okay. We process 4,000 bits of data, every single, and some people say every single minute, some people say every single day, some people say it's millions or billions a day. So we need to make it easy for them to process this data, and this makes it easy. Okay. Give me just a second here. Okay, after some minor technical difficulty, we are back. So let's look at the example that I usually start with just because it's very simple. So let's say you're selling a pair of earphones, right? And you've gone through your competitive analysis. You know who your person is. You know who you're speaking to directly. You know that, the theme that is showing up most in your competitive analysis is they want earphones that are comfortable, and they want earphones that stay in their ear and fit their ear really well, right? So, a lot of people have said molds to your ear. That was one that we pulled, and comfortable. So there's a couple of reasons behind this. They would want comfortable earphones. We have to always think about the reasons, right? So why would they want comfortable earphones? Well, because they're going to be on their body, and they may be on their body for, in their ears for hours, right? If they're working out at the gym, or if they're walking by the lake, or if they're listening to a podcast or a webinar, they need something that is going to be really comfortable so that they can continue to do what they're doing, right? Without interruption. Now, you'd want something that molds to your ears for two reasons. One, sound blocking technology, just the way that sound works. If sound doesn't have a barrier to escape, right? And it doesn't if it molds to your ears. It's like it's surface to surface. Then the people who are next to you can't hear your music and aren't inundated by your music, right? The same thing holds true for, the wanting to mold to your ear for comfort. There are a lot of people with a lot of different ear sizes. And for example, right now I'm wearing headphones as I'm recording this so that it's easier for you to hear me. However, the first couple of pairs of headphones I had just weren't comfortable. They didn't stay in, they fell out. If it molds to your ear, it's more likely to stay in if you're running and jogging and moving around. You're not going to have the sound issues, etc. You can learn all of that from your competitive analysis, just from going to look at either your reviews and or your competitors' reviews, and going to different blogs and forums and seeing, what people are saying, right? So we have comfortable, right? And we have molds. Okay, comfortable and molds becomes comfort mold technology, right? Or you can say comfort fit technology. You're able to say revolutionary in front of it or new in front of it. That's even better. Obviously, we know from our checklist that people like things that are new, right? They like things that are up and coming, things that are trendy. Okay, so how would you, what if you didn't have this comfort mold technology? What if you just had a basic pair of earphones, right? You could say, you have stay put foam, right? Assuming that you had foam and the foam actually does stop it from falling out, right? You could also talk about your process. Okay, let's say that you are the only company that manufactures earphones that are BPA free. BPA plastic is something that's a lot of people don't want in their food or on their body. You could say that you would look at your list, obviously. You could say that to solve a problem. You would look at your list to see what features you have and what your competitive analysis and what they wanted to see, like what problems the other products had, and see if your product overcomes those problems. And you could see if that happens with the process, right? Like, you could have a clean tech process, right? So if someone was saying, they, your earphone, like their earphones arrived and they were, dusty or they felt grimy or, you could say that ours is, and they're sticking these things inside their body. You can say we're the only manufacturing company to our knowledge, always say to our knowledge, that creates headphones in a 100% clean room environment, clean tech, right? So you can also talk about the process, like if you, let's say you're selling a supplement and you have all your competitors are using heat treated, ingredients, right? And that heat that they're using is even low heat will kill the bioavailability of those particular nutrients. So your body, even though it is able to, uptake those vitamins, even though you're able to swallow the vitamins, your body can't uptake the nutrients. The cells can't actually use it if it's not bioavailable. So you would talk about that process. And you would look and say, okay, well, what are two words that they're using, right? So what can we name our process, right? You could do something as simple as like, heat zero or NutriHeat, or you could talk about how you're not using heat, or you can even say like no heat, zero heat. That's a little bit trickier one. So zero heat technology, zero heat purification technology, right? Zero heat bioavailability technology, zero, you could say something along those lines, right? So they're saying, oh, they're using no heat, so that it's bioavailable, zero heat bioavailability technology. So just start, you have to kind of just start writing these down. Okay. So when you first start doing this, it may not come across, it may not be the easiest thing you've ever done, but you'll get the hang of it. And what you have to do is get your writer's blocks out of the way. So when you just have to start writing, not editing. Don't edit it, write it. So if you see, like, let's say you write down comfort mold and then you're like, oh, no, I want it to be comfort fit. Don't delete the comfort mold. Just write comfort fit underneath that. And then, you can say stay put underneath that. And then you can say secure stay underneath that. And you can say soft stay underneath that. Like, make a list of what you could use for your hypnotic feature anchors. And then you pick the best one. Now you want to make sure you're making them either spicy or about what they want most, right? So if for some reason, you're not getting none of these words you don't see a lot of themes, right? And you need to still make your product stand out. You can create something, you can just take one of your features and make it sound spicier, right? So, like you can say like sexy tech, right? So let's say you're selling like a sleek, let's go back to earphones, like a sleek set of Bluetooth earphones, you know what I mean? Like you can say, sexy tech, and it's because they, when you have these earphones and we design them so they have this natural slimming effect to make your face look slimmer, which is probably total BS, but you can still just look for something in your product, right? Look for something in your features. Now remember, if for some reason you can't create a hypnotic feature and you can't create a hypnotic process, you really want to go with the 1 in a million company approach, right? So you can say, and you have to put a story behind it. So for example, you can say, because our, kitten died of a rare disease, we decided to start this company, and all of the net proceeds, by the way, that's not your profit. Net proceeds is like subtracting out from your revenue, you subtract out all of your paycheck is not part of net proceeds, right? So what's left over after you pay yourself, after all of your marketing, after all of your sourcing, right? After everything you actually have to pay for, including paying yourself a salary, all net proceeds go to, XYZ, like Save a Kitty's Life charity or something, right? It can be a charity you started, which is a little bit complicated. It can be it's complicated to start a charity. To get a 501c3 is a little bit complex. Or it can be a charity that you pick. For example, I have 4 clients off the top of my head who all donate to UNICEF. All 4 of them donate to UNICEF. So if you don't have a hypnotic feature anchor, if you don't have a hypnotic feature or a hypnotic process, like manufacturing process, or if you don't have, which is also an anchor, it's kind of a hypnotic process anchor, sorry, you can go with the 1 in a million. So what do you do if you don't have those 3 things, right? Then you have to resort to massively positioning yourself against all of your competition. So, and we'll go over that too, because you're going to want to do that anyway, but that's kind of a last ditch effort if that's the only thing you can do. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. You should do that, but we'll go into that in just a moment, right? So step 1 as a review is to find a word that describes what your customer wants in their language, right? You're going to have those words on your competitive analysis Excel spreadsheet. Find a second word that describes what your customer wants in their language, or, you're moving away from the problem towards something. If there's like a word that represents the solution they want, you can use that, like the benefit that they want or the transformation. And again, these are under your hot button and trans word sections. Make sure it overcomes a major objection, right? So you can cram 2 different words together all day long and say, oh, that's my hypnotic feature anchor. It doesn't do any good unless it overcomes an objection. And the way you find the objection is to scroll down to the bottom left-hand side of your Excel, your competitive analysis, and look there, and you're going to have a list of things they didn't like about the other products, right? Because you've already written those down. So you're moving away from those and towards the transformation, okay? Then you can combine the 2 words and add something that sounds cool or sexy, like 3000X technology if you want, or, rapid release technology. So you would say like BioPure rapid release technology, right? You would say zero heat purity, zero heat bioavailability rapid release technology. That's a mouthful, but you could do that, and that actually works in the nutraceutical field, in the supplements field. And then you need to define why that technology is awesome. why it's going to make their customers' lives better in a faster or easier or more affordable way. Okay, so let's go back to our original one. We have revolutionary comfort fit technology, uses your body's heat to, and I should add natural now, uses your body's natural heat to gently mold to your inner ear's exact shape, muting external sound for you and anyone near you while staying put while you run, jog, or play, right? Okay, so there's the three again too, like run, jog, or play. Most adults don't, they think they're never going to get to play again. That's why I added that in there. Okay, so we can break this down. So you have the hypnotic anchor, right? And then you have how and why it works, so in orange. And then you have the problem it solves, right? Muting external sound for you or anyone near you while staying put. So it actually solves two problems while you run, jog, and play. And so the meaning here is like, it's giving it meaning. Why is this important? Why is this important? And it's the answer is always so you can do what you want to do without hassle. So you can do what you want to do, all the good you want to do without the bad that you're worried about, right? Okay, so if you didn't know, you just wrote your first bullet point. So you're already halfway there. Okay, you're 1/5 of the way there, but still, you just accomplished one of the more challenging things that we have to do. So now we're going to go through these other bullet point examples, right? You're going to make sure to look at these examples, and you can change them around to a flow that sounds right to you, and a flow that would sound right to your customer, because you do want to make sure that you're speaking to them in their language. However, these are really good templates to start from. We know that these will convert very well, right? Make sure that you use hooks inside, which are those written tonal markers with the all caps, right? And make sure that you're using cues, like to pull their attention back in. And those, again, are those all caps. So bullet point number 1, here's how we would actually write this. The only, and let me explain the only, okay? If you are on, of course you're selling on Amazon. I just said if you're selling on Amazon. When you're selling on Amazon, like I mentioned before, there's going to be your product and there's going to be, hundreds to thousands of other products that have the same exact features, right? They might look different. They might be more or less aesthetically pleasing to one person or another. They might be priced differently. They might come with different bonuses, but if you can position your product as the only one that has a specific thing, people are likely to stop and pay attention. So the only, and then you insert your keyword, right? So the only Bluetooth headphones, or the only wireless Bluetooth headphones with revolutionary comfort fit technology, and then your product name, right? Let's talk about hypnotic product names for a second. So if you're gonna have a pair of Bluetooth headphones, do you just call them Bluetooth headphones? Probably not. Do you just use your brand name in front of them? Not unless it's a really well-known brand name. So you want to create a product name that's going to resonate with them as well. You could have Fun Beats as a product name. You could have Smart Beats as a product name if you're doing headphones. You can have like Sound Man. You could anchor to their identity. You could have, let's see here. You can focus on the benefits as a product. You know what I mean? You could call them Stay Put headphones, and that would be for the more practical person. Then you would talk about comfort fit technology, right? You can call them like Fit Star. You can call them based on if your target person is a fitness freak and they just want to be able to run a whole marathon for 10 hours without their headphones falling out. So you can name it anything that you want, but make sure you don't just use your brand's name, right? You want to come up with a cool name if you possibly can. So product name, again, leverages your body's natural heat. I guess I did put it in there. That's so funny. To mold your inner ear's exact shape, muting external sound for you or anyone near you while staying put while you run, jog, or play. Okay? Then you're going to go through and you're going to power up and you're going to polish it. Okay? So the only keyword with revolutionary comfort fit technology, product name leverages your body's natural heat, molding to your inner ear shape in a way that mutes external noise, blocks your neighbors from hearing your music, and even stays put while you run, jog, or play. So as you can see here, I don't just write the first bullet point and then throw it up on Amazon or send it off to a client. I go through multiple iterations of polishing, smoothing, powering up, powering up, powering up. I put it down and I come back, right? And make sure that I've checked off all the points on my list. Okay, so that bullet point was obviously created to overcome an objection. All of your bullet points need to overcome objections, every single one. So the main objection is, the main question that triggers objections is, why don't I want, from your customers, why don't I want to buy this product? So the main objection that triggers the question from, your customers is, why don't I want to buy this product? That follows with several sub objections, right? So underneath those sub objections, you're going to see like, well, I don't know whether or not this product is going to fall out of my ears. I don't know whether or not it's going to annoy my neighbors. I don't know whether or not it's going to, be uncomfortable. I don't know whether or not it's going to be loud enough. I don't know whether or not it's going to be, I'm going to have volume control on the earbuds. I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to use it to answer my phone. It's Bluetooth compatible. I don't know whether or not it's actually wireless. I don't know whether or not it charges my computer. So people go through all of these objections, like 100 of these a minute, when they're reading through your product description on Amazon. So you have to make sure that you're covering at least the largest objections with your bullet points. Okay. So we just mentioned one of them, our objection, not loud enough, or it's too loud. I'm getting dirty looks from my neighbors, right? So bad boy, loud, yet stealth and silent. If you've done. Now, why would we stop doing this here? Why would we stop the all caps here? Because it leaves that gap, that itch that needs to be scratched in their brain. It's the curiosity gap. Okay, so if you've done your research, you already know that. Okay, let's start over here. Our person we know is kind of a rebel. Okay, so when we're writing this, we're thinking, okay, this person's kind of a rebel. They want to be seen as like the cool guy, the bad guy. This would be somebody who, if you went and you looked and you did your analysis, you'd see that they liked a lot of military sites or patriot sites or prepper sites or something like that, right? Or that they are a hardcore athlete. Right? These guys play sports every single day after work, or these ladies play sports every single day after work, right? They like things that are stealth. They like things that are like, they like really powerful language, right? So we have bad boy identity, loud, overcoming the objection, yet stealth and silent. We've overcome 2 objections in one place. And this is called the 2 opposing words technique. Okay. If you can use this in your listings, this is awesome, because it makes the brain, it has to read. It has to know how something can be one thing, but be the exact opposite thing at the same time. It throws our brains for a loop. So if you've done your research, and if you've downloaded, by the way, if you've downloaded the 26 hypnotic language patterns, you'll see that we use, if you've done your research, or if you've done, or if you've seen, right? You already know that. So what we're doing is we're saying, we're changing their frame of mind. We're literally taking the video camera on the front of their head, and we're turning it to make them look at what we want to look at and focus on what we want them to focus on. So they've done a lot of research on these likely, but there's obviously opposing things out there, right? There's conflicting information. So if you've done your research, you already know that. Now we're going to embed what we want them to believe. And it's going to have to deal with one of their 2 objections. Most high definition headphones are either too quiet, making it hard to get motivated for your workout, or project noise. There shouldn't be an S there, sorry. Or project noise, upsetting the person next to you, right? Product names, wireless headphones are just right. And this, anytime you see it in quotes like that, this is from a testimonial, okay? They're loud enough to get you going, which I would change to get you moving if I were to power up and polish this, yet quiet on the outside so you keep your neighbors happy. Okay. So general rule of thumb for this feels like a little bit of a longer bullet point here. It's because the print is so large. If you look at it on Amazon, this is actually keeping to our, about 3 lines rule, right? So remember to power up and polish after that. So if you've done your research, you already know that, and then you're going to enter in what you want them, the objections you want them to focus on, okay? And then you're going to say, our product doesn't do that. Our product is perfect for you because it satisfies this need in you, and perfect for you because it satisfies this need in you, right? So, again, this is creating a new factor, changing beliefs, or reframing where they're going, right? So we went from problem to solution. We're talking about the transformation, right? So right now, customer, what you're dealing with is that you have to, your life stinks because your high definition headphones, which are such a big part of you, are either too quiet and you can't get moving, or they're too loud and the person next to you gives you dirty looks, right? And then we say, this is our solution. So problem, solution. If you just stick to that in your bullet points, if you constantly say, here's the problem, we solve it. Here's the problem, we solve it. You'll have a listing that converts just fine. But we want to do better than fine, right? So we're going to keep going with these. So the uses bullet point. A lot of people say ideal for. We've actually seen ideal for work. So they'll say ideal for acne scars, cellulite, right? But we want to frame in front of ideal for most of the time. And sometimes you don't need to, but we want to frame like the best, like the best, what is this? This would be a skin cream of some sort. Let's see, leaving it pin and pocket blemishes you'd rather hide. Okay, so, this would be like the best facial cream, the best moisturizer cream, right? This is your keyword here. You guys want to put your keyword towards the beginning of the bullet point if you can, at least your first one. Ideal for acne scars, cellulite, wrinkles, and more. Now, as you can see right there, we have put things that they're looking for. People mentioned, I love using it for my acne scars. It really helped me with my cellulite. It made my wrinkles diminish so much over 3 weeks, people hardly notice me. We pulled these from the competitive analysis, right? So then we talk about what the problem is. So now this would not be the first bullet point, just so you know. You are never going to launch into trying to convince them and tell them it'll solve their problems before you use an entry bullet point like one of the last two, right? So for this one, you could use the only as a first bullet point. You could use money back guarantee as a first bullet point. You could use basically why it's the best and how it's going to solve their problems, right? This would likely be a first or second bullet point as well. This one right here, you don't ever want to say it's the best something usually at the very beginning because people are skeptical and they'll say, yeah, no, everybody says ours is the best. So you'd want to use this as a secondary or third, maybe even a fourth bullet point. So ideal for acne scars, cellulite, wrinkles, and more. Then we're talking about why they have this problem. We're never blaming them. Okay, so what caused the problem? Something outside of them, right? So time, sun, and weather can wreak havoc on your skin. We know why. We already know this because we've been to the blogs, we've done our research. We also know our product. We know what causes the problems that our product can solve, right? So, and then you want to paint a picture of what it is that the biggest problem that they're having. So leaving it pitted and pocked with blemishes you'd rather hide. Obviously, these people want to hide their face. And I'm not saying that they should hide their face by any means. I've dealt with these same issues. But I'm saying that that's how they feel. Like when they look in the mirror, they're like, God, I just don't want anybody to even see me, right? And then we want to say, the product name, whichever product name you've created, gently moisturizes away the damage done with a unique blend of ingredients, right? So this is a uses and ingredients bullet point, okay? For jaded customers, if you have someone who is in, let's say, the pest repeller field, because I'm very familiar with that field. In the pest repeller field, a lot of people don't believe that they work. They've already heard, same thing with like acne and beauty. They've already heard, they've seen more, that it doesn't work more times than they've seen that it does work, or they failed to solve their problem many times, so they're very jaded. Okay, so this would, it's like keyword, ideal for acne scars, cellulite, wrinkles, and more, right? The only thing we've changed here is actually works, okay? Instead of saying the best. So if you have a highly jaded population, that, go with actually works instead of the best on this bullet point. Okay? You can also say actually works. Customers say it's ideal for blah, 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 like your whole list of the problems that it solves. Okay. Bullet point number 3, we're right on to customers say. If you have a product that's light on features but delivers great value, or that's light on benefits but delivers great value, or really solves like one main problem, but it's light on value, and you have testimonials, use it to your advantage. People are looking to build that trust. They want to trust that it works, and the way that we can show them that is by showing them what other people say. Now, if your product, if your listing isn't that great, and if your product really isn't, something to write home about, but it's an everyday basic, you want to talk about what customers are saying, because customers are speaking to the wow of your product. So you would just say something as simple as, customers say our blank keyword is the one to get because it, and then you just insert testimonial clips, like take the most powerful parts of the testimonials, right? So all caps, anything that is a big result, right? A big transformation, okay? The benefit, just to be aware, so the feature of the product is that it's, it's a pill that contains something. Let's say it's a diet pill. It's a pill that contains an ingredient that blocks carbohydrates, okay? That would be the feature, blocks carbohydrates. The benefit would be weight loss. The transformation would be lost 17 pounds or fit into my high school jeans again, right? So let's say someone said, let's say they said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I love this product. It's so amazing. I told all my friends about it. I can't believe it. I lost 17 pounds in 1 week. It's the most amazing feeling ever, right? So we'll go with I lost 17 pounds in 1 week. Worked immediately to eliminate my worst migraines. I didn't believe it would work until I saw my stretch marks vanish, right? So this is for like 3 different products, obviously, but this is just kind of giving you, and I wanted to give you an overall example. Just in terms of legalities and government compliance, only use testimonials that you have proof of. So, and don't power up or polish your testimonials. Rule of thumb, it's illegal to cut out words without using an ellipse to show you cut out words. So if we had at the beginning of the testimonial, I lost 17 pounds, and then there were a whole bunch of words between pounds and in, we would have to put a ... here, right? So a period. It's called an ellipse. I lost 17 pounds, ... in 1 week. And that shows people that, oh, hey, I know they said something in between there, but it obviously wasn't important enough to put up here. Okay. Social proof. Social proof. Social proof. Okay. It's extremely important. Now, I'm going into this in more depth because on Amazon, people think that just having a certain star rating for reviews gives you enough social proof and clout. That is not true. They're still going to go look through your listing, and they may or may not read your reviews. Most of the time, people don't read reviews. They have like this, what's called a minimum set point, a minimum floor for reviews. And so if they see that it has like 3.4 reviews, 3.4 star reviews, but and their minimum set point is 3.2, then they'll say, oh, okay, great. This looks like a decent product. I'll read more about it and see if it's right for me. They're not going to say, ooh, look, this thing that I know nothing about has 3.4 stars. I don't know what the customer said. I'm not even going to look into it. They're not going to say, okay, it has 3.4 stars, so I'm going to click add to cart now. They're still going to go through and read this. So it makes sense to go and bring up what customers say if you have a current product, right? Okay, so the do-don't bullet point. This is a really great one, especially if you're just starting out writing sales copy, because with this do-don't bullet point, we're just literally saying, don't do the thing you're having to do right now because you have this problem. Do get the transformation you want. Okay, so don't keep avoiding mirrors. Reveal your beautiful glow. And then again, we have that hook. So we want them to keep reading. So we leave like a gap. People say, well, what are people saying? The customer's brain says, what are people saying? What are people saying? People say first impressions are everything. And while that might make you want to cake your face in makeup, that's a big no-no because your skin needs to breathe. And what I would probably do here is saying that's a big no-no because it only makes your skin problems worse, right? With product name, and again, you know what your product name is, you'll no longer need to hide your skin under layers of goop and color because after one single use, your natural glow will begin to shine through. Okay, goop was something that a customer used. Like I pulled these out of actual, things that I've written. And I'm looking now, I'm like, oh, I could go back and polish this. People say first impressions are everything. Okay, so this is a commonly known mantra, right? First impressions are everything. So if you can ever put in something that you can get them, that they already agree with, that the majority of society agrees with, they will automatically start opening their minds to thinking or to accepting what it is that you're saying. So while that may make you want to cake your face with makeup, again, cake your face with makeup or cake your face in makeup, that was something a customer said. We grabbed that for competitive analysis. That's a problem. That's a big no-no because your skin needs to breathe. And that was something that I believe we used to breathe because someone said they felt like their skin could finally breathe. With product name, you'll no longer need to. What do they no longer need to do? What are they having to do every day that they don't want to do, but they have to do it just so they don't have to face their problem? In this case, it's hide your skin under layers of goop and color. And then we can, you have to paint the transformation. After one single use, your natural glow will begin to shine through, right? And we want to use begin, right? You can always say your product starts to work immediately, but you want to be very careful about saying that. You can say begin to, right? And that'll save your buns quite a bit. It's a good way to cover yourself. So this is a really great one to focus on because you're showing them, you're anchoring to what they're suffering from now, and also painting that as a picture of regret if they don't buy your product. And then you're also transforming them or transitioning them into the life transformation. As my partner likes to say, my husband likes to say, to keep doing the same thing and expect different results is insanity. So this is essentially telling them that without telling them that. It's a nicer way of saying it. Okay, the more, or the more, the better, or the more, the faster bullet point. This is a classic NLP language pattern. Again, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro being brain, linguistic is language. Programming is how we change the way you view the world, the behaviors you have, and the actions that you take. So that's what we're doing is we're changing the way they view things, their behaviors to buy, and making them take action. So the more you use it, the better your what they want. So what do they want? They want their dog to look better and better. They want their dog to feel better and better. So the more you use, happy puppy, or happy dog puppy shampoo, and, obviously I would take out on your dog. The more you use happy dog puppy shampoo, the faster you'll see their skin transform from a dry, cracked, dull mess, which is what it is now, which is what they want to change, which is you're painting the regret right there, to radiant, rejuvenated, silky softness. Simply X, Y, and Z. So X, Y, and Z would, and I should say simply, sorry. Simply X, Y, and Z. So simply wet, scrub and rinse. And within 3 weeks or within 2 washes or within 4 hours, you'll find yourself looking at a happier, healthier pup, right? Or healthier, happier pup. Okay. So you can use, the more you use your product, okay? The more you use XYZ products, and then use the faster you'll, the easier you'll, the more affordable you'll, and the quicker you'll, okay? And that means the quicker they'll get the results that they want. So you can come back to this anytime. So, and if they ask yourself, do my people want something that works faster? Are my people looking for a solution that are easier? I'm sorry, is my person looking for something that's really affordable? Or is my person looking for something that's quicker? Quicker and faster are essentially the same thing. But if we see a big split in the market with this. So if you look at your competitive analysis and you see people saying it worked really fast versus it worked really quickly, you want to use faster, obviously. I thought I would point that out just in case you're wondering, well, should I use quicker? You don't want to use anything besides easier unless you can say the more simply, but more easier sounds, it's just smoother. Okay, the secret bullet point. This is for people who have the objection, this product isn't better than anything else. This won't work any better than anything else. I'm looking for the best, newest thing that's proven to work. I've tried everything else. This isn't going to work. So in order for you to have to convince them, you need to have a secret, right? So the Egyptian secret to flawless skin, okay? So you can use a country, right? You can say 155-year-old secret to looking 32. And you've seen this all over the place. We call this clickbait. It's also reading bait. So if you can come up with tie it back to a country, the Japanese secret to, staying slim and fit forever. Anything along those lines. So the blank country or blank person's secret, to whatever it is that they want, like that one main thing they want. Do they want flawless skin? Do they want to fit into their high school jeans? Do they want to eliminate their acne? So like that. I saw something today. I was reading it today. One Japanese woman's secret to acne-free skin or something like that. So ever wonder why? Okay, if you do this, always open with ever wonder why. Ever wonder why. Super, super, super important. Okay, because we want them to wonder why. Even if they haven't wondered why before, we want them to start wondering why. So we're embedding a command, right? Ever wonder why Egyptian women have glowing, gorgeous, touchable skin, even in their 50s, 60s, and 70s? It's not because So we need to use it's not because. And what we're doing is we're overcoming all the reasons why they think other people have better skin and they don't. It's not because they have a cleaner environment or eat healthier foods, or it's not because they have better genes, like genetics. They have better genes, or you know, go to the spa every week. It's because they use the proven ingredients. And the thing is, like this, you're then anchoring it back to your product. The real reason why these Egyptian women have flawless skin is because they use the proven ingredients and product name to keep their skin looking, and then of course transformation. Young, vibrant, and beautiful year after year after year. Now, why would we repeat year after year after year? It's hypnotic. Anytime we can say something 3 times, it kind of builds an intensity up, with what you just said inside of their minds. And you want to do that. Okay, so again, there are 3 hypnotic NLP patterns in this one. The ever wonder why, that opens up the curiosity gap and directs your brain to think about what they want to think of, what you want them to be thinking about, right? It's not because, it's because. You're taking away what they believe, the reasons they believe somebody else, it works for somebody else, or the reason they believe other people don't have this problem, and you're replacing it with your product as the solution. And again, year after year after year, or day after day after day, or month after month after month, you're repeating it, making it hypnotic, and it makes it more believable. So we all know the secret is something that we all want to know, and that's why gossip is so popular. So this kind of goes back to the gossip effect. Okay. So why these ingredients? Why these components? Why this technology? Why this materials? Why anything? Why these features? Why anything, right? This is mainly about ingredients, components, materials that you're using, anything like that. This is a really good one to use if you are overcoming generalized objections. So we know everybody who goes search for a product for somebody else cares about that somebody else, whether it's their own health, or their pets or their kids. They care about the outcome and they want to make sure that it's safe. And then they want to know, well, I need to know everything that I'm putting into or on my body, or everything that I'm bringing into my house. So what's in this? Will the materials in this? Will the, sorry, I drew a blank there. The ingredients in this? Will the oils in this? Will the fruits and vegetables in this? Will the anything in this both work well and never cause us any harm? Okay, so here we go into this one. Why are these ingredients and components? Now you can say these ingredients, components, or you can say why zero heat treated, maca, right? Maca is a kind of tea. Why zero heat treated, baobab, right? Why no BPA bottles? Why no BPA plastics? Basically, you're educating them, right? But you're also triggering that safety anchor. You're like pushing that safety button. And you're also saying, this is going to work well. We thought this through, Mr. Customer. We thought this through really hard and only put together the best of the things that we know work so you can know that this is going to work and it's going to be safe. It's kind of like saying we use it on our own family, right? But a lot of people don't believe that anymore. So we go through this instead. So product name works because we tested and perfected it until we created a proven, unique, proprietary, anything, blend of natural ingredients, right? System, proprietary system would be good. Proprietary, metal, proprietary, baby bottle feeding system, proprietary, and you can say including list of ingredients that work in synergy with one another to give you the results you want. That's really great for, this right here is really great for like anything you're going to put in your body, right? Or on your body. This right here is more about products that are, not things that you put in or on your body. So why these ingredients, components? Why, 440 grade steel? Why 440 grade German steel? Product name works because we tested and perfected until we created a proven, unique, proprietary system of tank durable, safe components or tank durable, safe metals that work in synergy. You can say that you can list the metals, right? You can say of German 440 steel and German 440 steel, stainless steel, and copper alloys that work in synergy with one another and then you just want to give them the result they want to maintain a sharp edge. And again, this is for a knife, to maintain a sharp edge that lasts for a lifetime, right? That won't dull, won't wear out. Let's see here. Questions. So this should have said question across the top. So as you noticed in the last one, we used a question mark, right? You can use an ellipse as well. It also opens that curiosity gap. But anytime you ask a question, you're opening up a nested loop or a curiosity gap that they need to fill. They have to find the information to that. And so their brain's already open. So the next thing they read is going to be the thing they're most likely to believe, especially if you've overcome their other objections. In terms of transparent, and then you want to go into transparency to show that they can trust what you said. Okay. And the way to do that is by justifying why you use those specific ingredients or components to build trust and make it appear that you've thought this out and created a product that works. Not just grab something, off your Chinese manufacturer's shelf. I don't know why I wrote that. That's actually kind of funny. Something off the line at your friendly Chinese manufacturer's shelf. Nope. Bullet point. Next one. Do I have what it takes? A lot of times sales are lost not just because they don't believe in your product. They don't believe in your features. They don't believe it'll solve their problem. They believe that if somebody else used it for them, it would solve their problem, but they believe that they can use it to solve their problem. So anytime you have a product where installation or assembly is required, definitely, even if it requires no installation, I'll go into that in a minute, definitely mention that, okay? The easiest to not install, right? That's kind of an oxymoron. That's pairing two different things against each other again. So plug and play simple. Most bicycle lights require you to master engineering to ensure proper installation. Our engineers believe your life should be easy, so we made this bike light so simple to snap on and off that even a kindergartner can do it. Even a kindergartner did it. We're saying a kindergartner can do this. This is a bullet point that's for somebody who is afraid they're going to screw it up. Okay, they're afraid they're going to get the product. They're going to not be able to use it. They're going to feel frustrated. Their problem still isn't solved, but they believe their lack of expertise and capabilities is the reason why they can't do it. Okay. That's one. I'm going to go back to that again. So in your bullet point examples, you should also see when you should not say it's easy to install. So if you're someone who your main customer is a do-it-yourselfer and they have a whole toolbox full of tools, you can say something like, you'll finally get to put those tools to work, but while it takes other people, while it takes the average person 30 minutes to do this, a real DIY, builder can get this on in 2 minutes or less. Okay. So you just make sure that basically bottom line, make sure that if you're dealing with people who don't know how to install something very well, and there's some kind of installation required, you mention that and you say it's kindergarten simple to do. You can use kindergarten simple. A kindergartner did it. Kindergartners do it. We tested it with kindergartners, anything along those lines, right? Like my 3-year-old can do it. You can say that. Sorry, excuse me. Positioning. How to charge straight at their skepticism, right? So let's say, let's take a product. Let's take something I just wrote about a couple days ago. Last couple days. I've done like 25 listings in the last couple days. So let me see. What was a really fun one? I am thinking. So yesterday I wrote about a foam roller. Okay, let's go with that. So we can say, and let's talk about, these big, let's say that our target customer is someone who is using a foam roller to release the kinks, like a grid-based foam roller to release the kinks from their really heavy workouts. But these are big, let's say our target customer, our target persona is a big, huge guy who weighs like 350 pounds. He's a bodybuilder, but he doesn't want to go to a massage therapist. He has pain every day because he, works out every day and he pushes himself every day. So you would say most foam rollers, are made for lightweights, only supporting up to 150 pounds, or collapsing as soon as you sit on them. Our, 2-in-1 grid foam roller easily supports over 350 pounds. So even the most muscular men can find relief, right? So this is, you can say most product types than our product type. Okay, let's see here. Also, if you can possibly avoid vague words like premium and superior, sometimes there's reasons to use them. Those are white noise though now on Amazon. A lot of people start with, premium and superior. So don't just say premium or superior. You can still use that if your product actually falls into those categories. If it doesn't, don't use those words. Highlight what is really awesome about your actual product. But if it is premium or superior, you have to justify why it is, why it works easier, why it works better. So customers believe that, because everybody else is just going to say superior materials, premium grade, right? You want to stand out. You want people to believe you're believable. So if your product, let's say you're in a market and let's say you've just entered a market. This could work if you've just entered a market or you've been in the market for a while. Let's say you bring a product on that really is premium and superior, but it costs more money. It costs more money to produce. It costs more money to source. It costs more money to transport. It costs more money because of insurance. Whatever reason, it costs more money. Your product is more expensive than your competitors, and people say, wow, I could buy this for like 30% cheaper. Or on the other side, I could create this in my own time. I could figure out how to make one of these on my own. You want to go with the okay, for price your product. So unrivaled quality, unbeatable value. Then something like buying knockoffs will cost you. Buying cheaply made products will cost you. And we say cost you more in the long run, okay, because we're being honest. It's going to cost them more to buy your product today. But here's why it's important to buy your product today, right? I wish I could just draw a line right there. You're going to use because they don't have XYZ technology, or because they're made from cheap materials that will fall apart, or because they don't. Highlight what they don't have. Highlight why it's bad. Highlight that it's going to fall apart. It's going to rust. It's going to warp. It's going to crack. It's going to disintegrate. It's going to, if you don't have a technology, then, highlight what's bad about the other products. So they don't hold a candle to the performance, ease, and use. Again, performance, these are performance-based people. They want something that's going to last a long time and perform very well for a long time, right? The cheapskate that wants to buy 12 foam rollers a year, it's not going to go for this anyway. They're not going to go for this. We're talking about if your product, they're just going to buy the cheapest product they can find, and that's okay. But most of Amazon's buyers are upper class, and middle class, and at the top tier of the middle class. And the reason that these people buy on Amazon is because these people are intrinsically comparison shoppers, okay? So you're not going to find a lot of people on there looking for the cheapest thing. They're looking for no hassle and the thing that's going to solve their problem the fastest and last the longest, right? So you can swipe this whole thing. So they don't hold a candle to the performance, ease of use, and results you get with product name. And then you say, we guarantee it, right? So you're saying they don't have what we have, right? So they're going to cost you more. They don't hold a candle to what we have. And here's the outcome you're going to get, right? Here are the benefits: performance, ease of use, and results that you get with product name. This is a good second, third, or fourth bullet point. This is not a first bullet point. Generally, I tend to put this, unless your people are super value driven, I tend to put this in, as bullet point 4. So Give me just a second here. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze, so I paused this. Okay, so there's also this weird fly, sorry. It's going around in here, and I'm not sure why, because it's almost winter where I live on this little island, but it must have found its way inside. So, there's So is actually a takeaway. So when our brain sees the word we don't think, for a split second, we don't think someone's trying to sell us something. We don't think someone is trying to convince us of something, right? So, we only know this because of testing. We don't know this because we can see inside the human brain and say, oh, okay, well, we see the word there in their brain as soon as they read it, does this. We just know this from instead of saying, the best and the cheapest, right? Or the best and the most value, right? We know that and converts better, unrivaled and unbeatable converts better, right? And technically this is considered a takeaway language pattern. And if you've been in sales, you know what a takeaway is. And if you haven't, don't worry about it. So you also have to talk about, you can't just claim this. You have to talk about why. We're getting back to why your product is worth more than your competitors. Why it's worth investing more. Compare their value to the results. Right? So here's your value. Right? So here are their results. They're assuming that yours is going to last a long time. Here are more of your results right here, and then you're guaranteeing it. So, give me a second here. Let's see here. So, you're positioning your product as every other, same as we're always doing, and painting an image of the bad that will happen if they don't buy yours. They're going to have to buy a bunch of other ones. But we don't want to come straight out and say, oh, well, if you don't buy our product, you're going to have to buy 50 of the competitors before they break, because people are going to think you're just being snotty. This comes across in a way of, as though you're educating them. Say, go ahead. You want to buy the other cheaper product, you go right ahead, but it's going to cost you more in the long run. And let me explain why. Okay, so we're coming from a point of friendship, therapeutic, therapy and, educating instead of just trying to convince. Okay, bullet points. Will it last? Most of us don't realize that we've been asked this question when we go to Amazon. It's not conscious, it's subconscious, but we're asking, will it last? Will buying this today solve my problem for all of time or for a long time? What if it doesn't work for me? Can I get my money back? I am just going to go on a little tangent here for a minute, because you would be shocked the number of people. And if you're one of these people, it's okay. Maybe you didn't know before. The number of people who don't realize you have to spell out your guarantee for your product. You have to spell it out. You have to spell out how it's easy, how it's hassle-free, how you're going to give their money back if it doesn't work, how you'll send them a new one if it breaks. If you can possibly afford to have a double guarantee or a lifetime guarantee plus a money back guarantee, which is essentially a double guarantee, right? That's amazing. So I love this one. I have gone through and tested and even just rewritten the bottom bullet point and slightly tweaked the other ones on listings and said it's the last one of these you're ever going to need, right? The last cast iron skillet you'll ever need, lifetime guaranteed. So while most keywords fall apart or wear out in just a few short years, so the keyword would be, cast iron skillet falls apart or wears out. And for this one, we might even say instead of falls apart or wears out, we'd say, this is just kind of to give you a general idea. While most of these rust and cease to function in just a few short years, or rust and are filled with germy pockmarks, in just a few short years, forcing you to buy all over again, our keyword is engineered from the sturdiest material with a rust-proof coating, so it's guaranteed to last you a lifetime or replace it hassle-free at no charge to you. You can also say, or simply email us and we'll send you a new one free. Okay, if you can fit in, like it's more important to focus on the lifetime guarantee than it is to focus on like 30-day, risk-free trial, or 30-day money-back guarantee. You don't want to spell out the 30-day money-back guarantee. They usually understand that. So you would put 30-day money-back guarantee at the beginning of this and then do a dash, right? And then you would say, because then they understand, oh, we all know what a 30-day money-back guarantee is, but what about this lifetime warranty? What about this lifetime guarantee? The other guys don't have a lifetime guarantee. If you have the opportunity to do that, you should know, first of all, that I think the most recent statistics are less than 2% of people actually ever use their warranty, their lifetime guarantees. So you're not going to get, unless you have a horrible product that you haven't personally tested and you don't know that it actually works and performs, which you shouldn't be selling, by the way, not going into ethics, but you should know your product works. That's how you build a business, right? Unless you don't know that, you should be able to offer a lifetime guarantee, because the rate of return and actually losing money is going to be 2%, but your increase in sales is going to be immense because people see, okay, I can trust these people. If you're a brand new company, you might mention something as well about, we've been in this business, for X number of years, and talk about your expertise as opposed to talking about the number of years you're in business. If you're an older company, talk about for 25 years, we've been delivering the best cast iron skillets, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so you understand. I'm sure you understand that. I don't want to beat around the bush. This slide is the one that I was missing earlier. So, yeah, so I would, never mind. You don't need to know about that. I was looking for this slide earlier for something else. I'm so sorry. So while most, and again, let's go back and look at this. While most keywords fall apart or wear out, okay? So while most, cast iron skillets rust, warp, and become useless, there's our 3, rust, warp, and become useless, comma, forcing you to buy another one or throw it out, right? Our product keywords, so, cast iron skillet or whatever else we were looking at right then, like no rust skillet is, and then list why it's the best. So like we had said, it was coated, right? Or it had a natural coating, is naturally coated with, whatever product. So, or with whatever material. So it's guaranteed to last you blank time period, or we'll replace it hassle-free at no charge to you. Okay. So now we're going to write one together. In doing this, you're going to see, I'm going to be completely upfront and honest with you, you're going to see that I don't just crank out bullet points and then leave them. You're going to see me changing it and changing it and changing it and changing it. That's because my brain has to go through the same process your brain goes through. It's like, wait, this sounds better. Wait, this is smoother. Wait, I like this better. Wait, this is what's really important to them. So at this point in time, you need to have your keywords, okay, which I'm going to go pull mine again. Because I want the most updated list possible, just because I'm that person. You're going to pull your keywords that you want to index on Amazon for, right? So people find your listing. You're going to go to your competitive analysis. Make sure that you have sorted your themes, that you say, okay, what themes are the most prominent? Which stood out the most? That tells us what they need to see, what your customer needs to see to buy. And then you need to write down look at those and say, what are they going away from? What's the pain they're going away from? What's the problem they're going away from? What are the words they use for that, right? And what transformation are they going towards? And then you also want to have your brief open. And if you can, print this stuff out, because it's a lot easier to look at it all side by side than it is in the computer. So you're going to transfer any you can do this. This is more a best practice. You don't have to do this. When I receive a brief from a client, I go through and I pull out the bits that I really need to know, right? Likely you already have those bits in your brief that are just the bits you need to know. So you can actually just use your brief if you want to. You're going to want to go through and match like how your prevalent themes match your product's features, right? So, we talked about earlier, you have that chart in your brief and it's features and benefits, okay? So with those features and benefits, I want you to go back and underneath the benefits, I want you to write the transformation, right? So how do your product features match your product benefits, and then write the transformation underneath it, right? And so then we're going to get into writing bullet points. Let me go pull some things up here and you can actually see how much I have going on here. Let's see here. So I'm going to go to our training. This is our template competitive analysis. So I'm going to pull this up. Okay. So pull that over there so I can get rid of this. Close this. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go this was notes from earlier from something else I was doing. Okay. So for toddler cots, right? We've already pulled keywords. Okay, so let's say that our keywords are, and I decided I'm actually just going to kind of make up my keywords right now just to make this easy, because I want to show you the process, the whole process I go through. Okay, so let's say someone's looking for a toddler cot. Someone else is looking, these are keywords, right? So the keywords they're using to search for it are like toddler cot, daycare cot, camping cot, portable toddler bed, right? And you're going to have like a whole list of keywords up here. You're going to keep, going over there. Now, you have an Excel spreadsheet, but for me, I like to have my competitive analysis and my notes up as opposed to my keywords. So I will go through and write down I'll type my keywords at the top, right? We already have our title for the cot, right? That was in a previous module. So now we have to do our bullet points. Okay. Excuse me for just a second here. Okay, so if you don't have it open already, it's kind of more fun sometimes just to go through. Let me see if I can find this here. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it exactly from the bullet points that I gave you. Where did they go? Are they under here? Title templates, bullet point templates. Okay. So I'm pretending to be you right now. Okay, so let's say that we are going to use, real quick, sorry. I already read through this, so I should probably show you how my brain works. So I already went through and I kind of grouped these, right? So we know what they care about. We know what their objections are. We know which bullet point pieces we love. We went through all of this, right? Let's see here. So you're going to go back through and review this, and you need to pull themes, okay? So if you're pulling themes, I've already put this here, strip in the middle for support, middle support, but then there was a problem. There's a titanium bar used. It's the strip in the middle, and it's not comfortable, so it's uncomfortable. We have to talk about that. We have to talk about how it's not going to flip over. Let's see here, and that's a great one to create a technology around. We're going to talk about how it will fit into something like carry-on luggage or into a closet. We're going to talk about how it's a perfect alternative to a toddler bed, and having their head and feet above their midsection. Again, this goes to comfort, uncomfortable bar support, head and feet above their midsection. So these people are primarily focused on, what are they focused on? They're focused on comfort and support. So these are my themes, comfort and support tie together, right? They are focused on safety, right? And these are just general themes. We're not going to use the words necessarily comfort, support, safety, etc. I'm just showing you how I group themes. Okay, they're worried about weight limit. They're worried about storing and traveling, and specifically the size, right? So this is how you can now tell, oh, okay, great. So how are they, like, what are they actually caring about, right? Let's see here. So we pulled this up top already, strip the middle for support, not comfortable and comfortable. So how would we say that your product overcomes these objections? Okay. There's no support needed. This is how you know what you're going to talk about in your bullet points. Okay. So we talked about comfy support technology. Tank durable. Okay. That has to do with weight limit. That also has to do with, give me a second here. I'm looking for where I can pause this, but it's not working. This also has to do with it lasting a long time, right? Won't collapse, sag in the middle. Okay. So, storing traveling size. The grandparents want to have this. People want to travel with it. Kids always have their own bed, right? So, you're going to talk about, actually, we're going to go back down here through objections. You're going to go up and say, okay, these are my themes. How does my product overcome the objections that fit into the themes people want to talk about, right? So that's unique design, tank durable, special type of metal, right? Or maybe not even metal at all. Maybe your product doesn't use metal. Maybe it uses, like, for the strip down the, I'm sorry, I just jumped over. For the strip down the middle, maybe instead of metal bar down the middle, it uses a strip of, multiple strips of material to provide optimal cross-body support, right? So we know what they care about now, so we know they care about support. Or full body support, right? So I wouldn't say no middle support needed, no metal bar needed, no metal bar needed. Okay, so safety. We have that it will not collapse even if it's jumped on. It will not collapse. Locks into place. So safety. I should probably move that down here. I want to move that to the bullet point. So we know it will not collapse when jumped on, will not bend, will not warp. Locks into place, right? So as you can see, we're taking the themes, right? These themes up here, they're worried they're going to flip over, okay? They're worried that it's not safe. They're worried that it won't lock in place, that it'll fold up when the child gets up in the middle of the night, collapsing on them and injuring them, right? So we just keep sorting through here. So now we have the themes, right? We have a second here. So we have the themes, we have the features, and the benefits, okay? So unique design, no metal bar needed, right? Provide full optimal body support, will not collapse or typically when jumped on, will not warp, locks into place. Will not collapse in the middle of the night. And again, we're just going to take all of this and weave this into bullet points. Okay, so you have to have this first. Features, benefits. So you're also solving objections. This is basically like, this is kind of your what do we have to say in the bullet point section? If you had a what do we have to say in the bullet point section to ease their mind, to overcome their objections, which features and benefits we want to talk about, right? This is how you do it. This is going back to where you're at in the brief, in the sales copy brief or sales copy questionnaire, and where you put the features and the benefits, right? So you're just grouping this all together now with the theme. So now you know what they actually want to see. Now you know what they actually want to read about. Now you know what they have to see before they'll buy, before they'll take that risk and fork over that money. Weight limit. Okay, so weight limit was a big one, and I accidentally put this over here. Won't collapse, say in the middle, right? Won't crumple. And we'd have to put the actual weight limit. Put actual weight limit, just as a note. Storage, oops. I did that in Excel. That's really funny. I just tried to create a formula, but it's not a formula. Indicate actual weight limit. No, come on. Oh, I know why. There we go. Let's hope this lets me do it now. Okay, great. Storage travel size. So their objection is that it's going to be too small. I'm sorry, too big for travel storage, or that it's bulky, right? The features that we have is that it easily collapses into a whatever inch by inch square. So your child always has a comfortable, familiar place, to sleep, no matter where your travels take you, right? And please don't mind the typos here. It's really hard to type in Excel. Okay, strip in the middle for support, uncomfortable. Safe for babies. Safe for babies. We decided it was not safe for babies. What other themes can we see popping up that we can add to this? Won't collapse. Sturdiness, the metals, materials, the whole unit. Right. This is where, let's see here. Sturdiness, metals, materials, weight limit. So won't collapse, won't sag, won't crumple in the middle. They were then talking about the sturdy. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Sorry. All that dinging. Control copy. Okay, so we're just going through and sorting this. Actual weight limit. Okay. Perfect. Okay. This is also about our product. This is about the weight limit and the sturdiness. So the weight limit is also about sturdiness. We're seeing that theme. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, so complete waste of garbage money. They're talking about the sturdiness with that as well. Or unsturdy, unreliable, and rip and under 1 week. This is just sample copy that I wrote, so I'm going to put this over here too. So sturdiness, weight limit, sturdiness. So say safety, sturdiness, weight limit, durability. Let's see. Okay. This is obviously going to be a big one. And we may end up splitting this. Oh, you gotta be kidding. We may end up splitting this into more than one bullet point and say, because it's such a strong theme, we might talk separately about the weight limit and speak separately about the sturdiness and speak separately about weight limit and the durability, right? Okay. So these guys are talking about doesn't fall down all the way. Company support tank, durable type of metal, not collapse, travel size. Did I just do that again, really? Oh my goodness. And a lot of times I'll go put this in a Microsoft Word document, but it's easier, I feel, on camera to keep it organized to do it in here. So this is too big. Objection. This is an objection, so I'm putting it near the beginning. Okay. So it's lightweight. That goes into travel, for storing in travel. Okay, so I cannot believe I keep doing that. Let's see here. Where did you see lightweight? Lighter, easier to set up, sturdy and built, awesome. These are your transports, so we're gonna, wasn't heavy at all. Fit perfectly under desk. Sturdy for the price. I love this cut. There's a don't waste money on cheaply made knockoffs, just like our bullet point. My son loves this cot, a lifesaver. My daughter loves it. Don't bother. Ideas, great, terrible product. Head and feet below their midsection in proper alignment. We already grabbed all that. I swear I just saw something about being lightweight. Lighter, easier to set up. It's funny how how we didn't see, at least to me, I thought it was funny how we didn't see more people talking about how easy it was to set up, right? How easy the products were to set up. You would think that that would be the case. So we now have our themes: comfort and support, safety, sturdiness, weight limit, which we're probably going to break apart, storing, travel. Go back and look through this. Will it fit into, okay, instead of a toddler bed? Oh, instead of a toddler bed would be a good one. So, do we have anything that fits into instead of a toddler bed? Let's see here. Kiddos, little ones, toddlers, school agers, tight and force, no sleep ability. Facing design, stacking, setup, clean up, easily pulls apart, stashes away. Okay, so we liked all of those. So we're going to go back and check those words when we're writing the copy. Okay, uses. So for our uses bullet points, grandparents, moving, bedwetters, waterproof sheet, camping. So we go up here and we say, always we look at uses. So this is going to be uses instead of a portable toddler bed. And I will tell you that the hardest thing for me to do is to get organized, to organize what I need to see in my bullet points. Why didn't that go in? Uses instead of portable toddler bed. So this would be travel was a huge one, and we already have travel, right? Let's see here. So let's see, instead of portable toddler bed. We have travel, we have grandparents, we have camping, we have let's see here. What else do we have in our uses? Moving. Basically any place a child needs to stay off the cold, dirty floor, or feel right at home, right? Okay, so now we're going to take this. So what you've now done is you've boiled down everything you learned, right? I'm sorry, everything you found into, into themes that are going to fit, that are going to turn into your bullet points, objections, features, and benefits, right? We're still going to need to like paint the transformation with the copy, but you now have a framework. We call this a framework in copywriting. We're going to also come back and grab bullet point pieces I love, and we're going to want to look at that. Let's see here. Let's see, and we're also going to come back, probably going to going comfy support technology. Although I was thinking cloud support technology was really nice. I was thinking, like I'll write down a whole bunch of them. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. So, like those are hypnotic anchors. Sorry. Okay, so these are our themes. Okay. Our themes are going to, again, turn into our bullet points, right? I want to actually, wonder if I can do this on here. Let's see here, text direction. If I delete the table, yeah, it's just going to get rid of it. Okay, so essentially what you would need to do, that's why I said I usually type at Microsoft Word. It just seems so much easier to do this. And support. I'll just take this real quick bullet point. I'm going to pause this if I can. Where is it? Come on. Okay, I'm going to pause this, copy this over, and come back so you don't have to watch me.